When it comes to the respite stay at Renaissance, so there's 24-hour cover. When it comes to care staff, nursing staff, with the respite, all respite residents are registered with their own GP practice. We don't register them with the medical practice covering the home. So I make sure that the relatives are aware, organise medication, like any issues, let your GP practice know that they're coming to the service for respite. So reassurance to the relative who's entrusting you with their loved one is a massive thing. When it comes to them having a tour of the service, it's really about showing them that this is a home that has meaning, that we're going to take into consideration all their personal requirements, kind of like any insecurities or vulnerabilities or reassurances that they may need. It's my job as the manager to give them that reassurance that this is what they can expect. Here's the contact details if there's anything you're not sure of, if you're wanting to know about anything. I always encourage them to have a list of questions before their loved one even comes in for respite so we can go through them. We also ask, okay, what's your hopes, your aspirations while we've got your loved one? What's your fears? So I kind of look at all aspects of communication: FaceTime, text message, WhatsApp, phone calls. There's always a named nurse, an allocated carer and then I'll let the staff members be aware of when that family is coming to visit. They always link in with myself as the manager. So consistency, communication, making their visit fun. When they're coming to see their loved one who's in respite, we offer a high tea experience. We offer the dining experience. We'll encourage, like, how about we meet up when we're on an outing with some of the residents? We can bump into you at the park. Little fun things that make it fun, so it's not necessarily, because sometimes when people are needing the respite, you find that most of the time it's the person who's providing the care that needs the respite. And then we go over, when it comes to their belongings, that everything needs to be labelled just for laundering purposes, or sometimes respite people want to do their own laundry. Every family is different. Some families like to come with 7 days worth of clothes. They're all well organised with 7 sets of nightwear. Some families, they'll do the opposite. They'll maybe give us 3 or 4. There's no right or wrong answer to the question. But ideally, if they're with us for 7 days, you want at least 4 to 5 days worth of clothing and nightwear for them. For some reason, socks is something that everybody seems to forget to put in. And then pajamas. The one thing I've learned about the respite is you can't standardise it. You want to standardise it, but you can't, because it needs to be person-centred. It needs to be individual to the person that's wanting to experience that quality of care. So then that's when I'll look at the Renaissance values. Kind of like, what do we stand for as a business? Okay, this is what we stand for. So this is the quality of care that we aim for this person to achieve. So favourite foods, kind of like, food is always the way to someone's heart. So we'll make their favourite dishes. We'll do all that in the assessment of need process before they're in for respite. We'll also ask about their routine at home. We'll rely on the next of kin for that. What time do they normally get settled at night? Kind of like, what time do they normally arise from their bed? And what does a day in the life of that person look like? So we've got an understanding of how they are before they come to us, and we'll try and mirror it, but give them new opportunities and new experiences. One of the most difficult jobs in the world probably is the job of an unpaid carer, because they don't get that break. It's 24 hours a day, whether it's someone's husband, brother, best friend, wife. That's their life. So when it comes to the experience of respite, I look at it as a holiday for both parties involved, and making sure both parties get the best out of it. So we'll do a wellbeing check-in on the relative that's loved ones in for respite. We'll give them updates and just make sure that they understand what we're trying to achieve. The assessment process for care management is, because obviously, depending on the needs of the person, depends on how often they're going to get that, but that is solely care management that deal with the assessment process of how they find out what the level of need is. Actually, it's something like when you're shopping for a house. It's not the same, but it's similar in the sense that you think you pick the house, but actually it's a feeling within yourself that makes you think this is home. And it's the same for the respite experience. It's a feeling that's a build-up of all these little things that make you feel safe, because that's what everybody wants to achieve with the respite. Just a feeling of safety, security, and, oh, do you know what? They've got me. They've got my loved one. They've got my back. They understand why I need the break. They understand why I'm trusting them. But trust takes time. Respite can easily become long-term sometimes when we've got the assessment process throughout the respite experience. It's really, really difficult to make the decision to go from respite to temporary to permanent. And it's an emotional journey sometimes for some families, because then they feel really, really guilty. But then it's our job as management to reassure them and let them know that, one, we've got your back. Two, yeah, it's not easy. It's going to be really difficult. We're going to have some difficult decisions to make. But I've got you, and we'll be in it together. Because that's what we're all about at Renaissance. Family value and like quality of care.